Welcome back to another Rose City Reptiles video. In today's video, we are going to be making, that's right, Rose City Reptiles Tegu meat mix. This is by far the #1 most requested video. I get messages, honestly, daily, every single day since I started YouTube and before, people asking, what meat mix do I give my Tegus? So, before we get started, there's a couple things I want to go over. One, this is not like set in stone. You have to feed these things to have success. Not even close. What we're gonna be mixing up today isn't even what I do every time. I go to the store, I see what they have, and I make a variety purchase and mix that together. So if you have some ideas of things that you wanna put in your meat mix, then just check and see if it's something that you can feed to your Tegu, and if it's safe, throw it in there. Okay, variety is key, and that's the whole point of making a meat mix, is to provide the variety that they need. That's the important thing. It can help with a lot of health issues. It can help with Tegus becoming picky on certain foods. It helps with a lot of stuff, and it just, you want your pet for a long time. So if you want your Tegu to live 30 plus years, then give it a variety diet. That's going to greatly improve his chances of living a really long life, and that's the goal. That's what we all want. We want to give our Tegus what they need to be healthy and be around for as long as they can because we love them. So we've got the big grinder out. If you don't have a grinder, that's okay. There's other things you can do. I mean, you can chop things up by hand if you want, you know, but if you have over like a few Tegus, then I suggest getting a grinder. We found this one. We're gonna go in more detail about it later, but you know, grinders are expensive, but look on Craigslist, look on Facebook Market. We found this one for less than half retail value. Really good deal. Came with a lot of accessories too. So shop around, find good deals. There's a way to do this, but the grinder will save you money, and I'm about to go over exactly why. I have a great example of that, of how it's gonna save me a lot of money making this food right now. So at the end of the video, we're gonna test out the food and feed it to some Tegus, and we'll see if they go crazy over it or if they don't. So let's get started. It's a little messy. Put on your gloves. Okay, so first and most important rule is do this when your wife's not home, so she doesn't, you know, get all crazy about there being dead chicken on the table, freaking out over nothing. No, I'm kidding. I mean, that's a good reason, but yeah, who cares? Okay. So I used to use my wife's KitchenAid mixer before I bought this, and obviously she was not a big fan of that. You guys can imagine. And now her mixer makes a weird noise because I grinded up some chicken necks, and yeah. So let's go over what we have here in today's mix. So we got some catfish nuggets. We can also go over the cost. So these were $7. You can see, comes in like a bag at my local grocery store, and you'll learn what grocery stores carry this stuff. So some Walmarts do, some don't, just depends where you are. So you just gotta shop around, find the best deals. But catfish nuggets, we got some blackberries, some blueberries, collard greens, mustard greens. I've got a few chicken eggs. You can use all types of eggs, duck eggs, quail eggs, ostrich eggs if you've got them, whatever. So any type of eggs, chunk them in there. We've got some calf liver. Believe it or not, most grocery stores have this. It's like $4. You get several livers. It's a great little thing to add into your Tegu mix. We have some salmon here. That's like 13 bucks for 2 pounds. Great little thing to add into your mix. Tegus love it. It's good for shedding. It's got some great vitamins in there. Good for humans, good for Tegus. We have some chicken hearts. I don't know how many packages we'll use, but we got chicken hearts. We have some yellow squash, put a couple carrots in there, and then we've got these chicken breasts. Now, I told you guys this grinder is going to save me money today. This is how. This chicken breast was $1.78 a pound. I don't know if that, yep, you see that. $1.78 a pound. I can grind it myself. If I bought the only ground up chicken they sold at the store that I was at was around $3 or more. I think it was like $3.20 or so per pound. So by grinding it myself, I'm getting it almost half off. So And that's like a big part of what goes into your mix. I got 2 packages of these, one's still in the fridge, don't know if we'll use it. So grinder's already paying for itself a little bit there, and it adds up. I mean, but a lot of this would be difficult without the grinder. I mean, I guess you could use like a food processor, a blender, chop it up by hand. They have like hand grinders that are very inexpensive, and those work really well actually. I've used one before. It just, you know, you got to be a little strong for that. But yeah, those really do work good. So let's go ahead. We're going to start taking these foods, throwing them through the grinder, and I'll show you guys, you know, kind of how this works. So first thing I'm going to grind up is the chicken. The chicken breasts don't quite fit down here. So all I'm going to do, I already did it with this one, I just tear it in half with my hands and then it'll fit straight down. So let's turn on the grinder. Okay, you can see a little thing spinning around in there. We got this handy dandy tool, pushes it down. And you can see, comes out. Perfect ground up chicken. So we're gonna keep running these chickens through and I'll be right back. Okay, so we just finished grinding up all of our chicken. Now, some tips with grinding chicken. It can be kind of stringy and that can get caught in your grinder. We didn't have really any issues this time, but you have some foods that are more like lubricants that can help get difficult foods through, you know, the whatever this is called, the grinding chamber. So for me, like it got a little held up, so I chunked an egg down there and that helped kind of push everything through. You also have like berries. Those are good things to kind of lube things up and get everything through. So just keep that in mind. I've also heard some people say it's easier to grind up chicken that's like not frozen solid, but you know, half frozen, and so it doesn't get as sticky and as stringy. So I think that's actually a good tip. I'm gonna try that next time, to not let it thaw out all night, but maybe just a few hours. So this is what we have. We turned that pile of chicken there into this mush. Now what you're seeing here, this is actually chicken hearts. I started putting those through. What I do with these, I just take it, dump it up here in the tray. These are super easy to grind up. The hearts can also help the chicken get through because they're just really soft, you know. So yeah, I mean, look, I'll just show you. With these, you just kind of throw them down the hole. You have this to push them, and it would be going faster, but there's still some chicken that's making its way out. But no problem, it's not stopping it from working or anything, or even slowing down the engine. But it just grinds up those hearts so that baby tegus can eat it, adult tegus can eat it, and it's so ground up they can't pick and choose what they're eating. Like, they can't just eat the hearts and not the carrots or squash or sweet potatoes or whatever else you put in here. So it makes it to where they don't have the option to be picky. They're gonna just eat it. So, almost got that whole pack of hearts through here. Grinding them up. And you guys know from past videos that I will put whole prey and grind it up, but I'm not doing that this meat mix because not everyone has a connection to go buy whole quail or whole chicken or anything. So I wanted this to be something that anyone can go and do. Anybody can go to Walmart, Brookshire's, H-E-B, whatever you have. You can buy these items. You can make your own Tegu mix right at home, saving a ton of money and giving your Tegu the best life possible. That's the whole goal. So I'm gonna grind up these chicken hearts. Look, it's that fast. This really isn't like a long process, but I'm gonna finish pushing these through, and then I'm not sure what we'll do next. Okay, so I have like a really important tip. I hope everyone is watching the entire video so they don't miss the things like this, because this could save a Tegu's life. I have heard of Tegus actually dying. Now this is young Tegus, but choking on some. The story I'm thinking of is someone fed their Tegu ground up gizzards, and those are known for being real stringy. Well, chicken can be the same way. So, you know, the fat on the chicken gets really stringy and it doesn't grind well. Well, the grinder was starting to struggle a bit while I was doing those hearts. So I decided just to take out, it's really easy to unclog, I guess. So I just unscrewed the piece right here, took everything out. You know, this is the piece that screws off. And on it, on the blade that's in here, there was a piece of really stringy chicken that I'm going to 100% throw away. So here's this piece right here, and you can see, this is what I'm talking about, like the stringy piece of chicken. Like if they swallow that, you know, some of that's going to be hanging out of their mouth, and it's just difficult to get down. But look at this piece. This was the main piece holding me up. So this huge piece of stringy chicken could, if it was just in this meat mix and I fed it to some baby tegus, that would cause problems. So it's really important, if your thing gets held up on something, take it off. If it's stringy meat like this, let me show you what you do with it. You take it, you just throw it away, okay? Don't mess with that. It's not worth having, even the small pieces. And it's all from the skin on the chicken. So if you wanted to cut that off, or not the skin, but the fat. If you wanted to cut that off beforehand, you could, but most of the time it grinds up. But there's some pieces like this that are going to be stringy, and it's best just to throw it away. Don't use it. Take it out. So I'm going to finish getting some of the stringy pieces off of this, putting it back on there, and then it'll be pumping this food through it. All right, we got it all cleaned up. Took all that stringy chicken meat, threw it away, and now up next to be demolished is the calf liver. So interesting. Never knew this existed until I got Tegus. But let's start this up. Should be running fine now. Let's drop this in, and it should immediately, yeah, get stuck down and pushed out the end. So we're up and running now. It turns this into like a liquid almost. This calf liver. I'm gonna go ahead and just use the whole pat. Tegus love it, and I bet that's something, I'd be surprised if anyone watching the video has ever fed calf liver to their Tegus. If you do, that's awesome. So let's go ahead, let's grab some of this catfish. Oh, sorry, can't do all this with one hand, but let's get some of this catfish, put it up here, drop it through. Should grind up no problem. So as you can see, I'm grinding up that catfish. And there's definitely better grinders out there. Like I said, you know, I mean, every penny counts. This is not the grinder that I really wanted. It's one size down, but when I found it for a great price, I had to get it, and it works for me for now. So, but all right, I'm going to finish up this catfish, and then I'll be back with y'all. All right, our catfish is now all ground up. You can see perfect little ground up catfish there. Look at our layers. We got chicken hearts, calf liver, catfish. Up next is the salmon. So I'm just gonna do about half the bag here. A lot of people like to use salmon. I make sure that it's wild caught, and yeah, it works really good. Super healthy for your tegus, and tegus go crazy over salmon. So start this up. It's still about half frozen. We'll see how that grinds. As you can see, the grinder is going to work. So that's how fast it is, you guys. This is not like something that takes all day. You stick the meat in, it grinds it up. I mean, it's that simple. So I do suggest getting a grinder if you can, especially if you have a few tegus, like I said earlier. So that salmon is now here perfectly. I mean, look at that. It's a mush. There's a newborn hatchling Tegu can eat this, no problem. So, all right, what should we do next? All right, up next, I think we're gonna do some carrots and some berries. I'll be right back. All right, time to grind up these carrots and our berries. So, I already ground up one carrot because I couldn't remember quite how they ground up, but perfect. I mean, literally just dropped a carrot down there and it grinds it straight up. So, we've got these berries, a lot of berries, good for the Tegus, good for us, all the way around. So, let's turn this on. And you can see that's berries coming through there. But let's go ahead and drop a carrot down in there. You can kind of hear it chopping up the carrot. Carrot's gone. It's not quite coming out yet, but we dropped the other half in. Oh, let me turn that off there. So, I spoke too soon. Sounds like the carrot clogged it up a bit. Let me see. Okay. So just turned it off for a second, turned it back on, and it seems like we're gonna be just fine. So, dropping these berries down, grinding this up, getting a little held up there. And you can obviously, the berries are going to turn, you know, to juice mostly, but there's still some texture in there. Getting all these berries in. All right, look at that. We're flowing. We're good. So carrot got a little held up, but no problems. So there's a lot of different berries and fruit that you can use. You've seen in other videos, different things that I've fed. Feel free to put any of that in this. Like I said, this is not like a set in stone meat. This is just, or mix, this is just to give you guys a guideline, show you kind of what I do to prepare the Tegu mash. So sometimes I add sweet potatoes, sometimes I add different kinds of fish. I mean, all types of things. Quail eggs and turkey eggs and duck eggs and whatever. So get creative, go out there and do anything. So up next, we're gonna add, so we added 2 carrots. Oh, sorry about the camera view right there. But now we're going to add some squash. So let's see, broke that there. I don't know, hopefully this grinds up a little easier than the carrot. I'm definitely gonna have to cut this one, but let's drop that in. Yeah, that's no problem. You can see the bits of squash in there. Okay, I'm gonna put the camera down, cut this one up, and then I'll show you how it grinds through. All right, cut the squash up. Now let's drop it down. That's easy. So, got our squash. Now we need to run some of these greens through here. I don't do a ton of greens, but they definitely benefit from having some in their diet. So let's open this up here. This is our mustard greens. Let's see how these go through the grinder. Do some more. There's like 3 large leaves every time I grab some. Let's push those down a bit. Sorry, not really showing y'all here. This is a good angle right here. So getting those greens through. All right, I'm gonna grind up some more greens. And then I'm going to show you guys how we mix it all up and how we store it for the Tegus. Because obviously I'm not feeding all of this today. So I'll be right back with that. Okay, we are officially finished with making our Tegu mix. Wait, we're not. I just lied. One more very important step. I'm used to doing whole prey, and I don't necessarily have to do much of this, but add your supplements. Very, very important. Mine are in here. There's not much left. About to order some more. But what I use is the Reptiles Calcium Plus. The reason I use that is because it has your calcium with D3, a healthy amount of D3, and it also has your vitamins. So it's the only supplement that you need. So highly recommend getting your Reptiles Calcium Plus. I order mine from dynaanimal.com. So I'll go ahead and I'll put their link down in the description. So you can order it from there if you need it as well. Very important. If you're not supplementing your Tegu's diet, you're gonna run into some issues eventually. So make sure you're supplementing. So again, Reptiles Calcium Plus. I'll put the link below where I get it from. I order the pound. They sell it in different sizes. I just get a pound at a time. But depending on how many Tegus you have, you may not need that much. But here's what it looks like. This is our meat mix. Look at that, just dripping some greens out of there. So we added, I think it was like 9 leaves of the mustard and 6 leaves of the collard. I mean, do whatever you want. Just get some in there. You know, it doesn't matter. And you can use kale, you can use all types of different greens. But as you can see, I mean, there's no picking and choosing what you're gonna eat when it comes to this mix. You're gonna eat it all. So every single meal is a well-balanced, variety-filled diet. Every bite. So I think now's the time. Oh, let me show you how we store it. Nothing fancy. I use the big bags and the small bags. The big bags I fill up enough to where I can feed all my adults, or at least half of them. And then I use the small bags, I fill it up, and that's enough to feed, you know, most of the babies, or I thaw out 2 bags, whatever. So I use a variety. So these 2 different size bags whenever I'm divvying it up. There's also some really cool, clever ways that you can use, like the silicone ice cube trays. You can put it in there and flatten it and freeze that and just pop out a tray at a time if you only have like a couple Tegus. That works really well. Use those silicone muffin trays. Those are awesome if you have a few Tegus. Perfect. I mean, you just pop one of those out, let it thaw out, feed it to your Tegus. That way you're not even using these plastic bags. That cuts down cost and it's better for the environment. So I highly suggest that as well. I plan on moving to something like that eventually. I just need to go and get the trays and figure all that out. So I'm using bags for now. Let's think. I think we about covered it. So why don't we take some of this meat mix before we bag it up, and let's feed some Tegus that we have here inside. We might even feed some outside, but let's see what they do. I think they're going to be savages when it comes to this, but I don't know. They've never had this exact meat mix because, like I said, every time I do it, I mix it up. There's no set in stone way to do this, but there are some foods that Tegus can have and Tegus can't have. But this is just one of the many meat mixes, and this is how we do it. So let's feed some Tegus. All right, so we just added the food in to this enclosure. They definitely smell it. Let's see. Remember the last video that kind of made me look like a liar? Well, you know, as soon as I finished putting that, like hooking my camera up to the computer and getting all the video footage on there, I came back in here and that plate was completely cleared. So that's what Tegus do, I guess. But you can see these guys. They're looking at me. They definitely smell the food. So let's see if they come out. I don't know why. Something about this camera. When I feed them without the camera, they just run out and start eating. But I do feed them up here on this platform. That helps keeping out of the dirt, but maybe, look, see, he knows the drill. Or actually, I think that's a female. She might stay here. But, yeah. They're 100% going to eat this. I know for a fact. But who doesn't love a good feeding video? So I'd love to get it on camera. There. What's wrong with you guys? Why are you guys being so shy? Come eat. So As you can see, this guy definitely approves. And look at that. I mean, every bite he's getting chicken, catfish, salmon, carrots, squash, greens, eggs, calcium. And he just, it's incredible. It feels good to feed your Tegus really quality ingredients. It feels good to watch them eat and know like every bite is just very nutritious for them. So I know you guys feel the same way. That's why you're watching this video. But look at him. He approves. These guys still being a little shy. Why are you being shy? Huh? If I can get it to focus. Why are you being shy? You're never like this. Come on out. Come eat. Yeah, come check out the camera. As you can see, they've all come out, and look at the plate. It's almost all cleaned up. So they've got fat bellies and the food's just about gone. So they definitely approve. So the pinstripe Tegus did not cooperate, but everyone else did. I mean, there's still, I don't know if you can't really see that, but there's still people eating in here, cleaning it up. That food will be gone in probably the next 5 minutes, and I might give them some more later on this afternoon. So, these guys love it. I'm gonna go outside, gonna feed the adults the same thing today. Also, before we sign off here, if you have any of those prepared diets, you know, like the insectivore, the croc diet, or high quality dog food, you can mix that in with it, or you can do it separate, feed them at different times, or you can like soak the croc diet and mix it in, you know, different things you can do. Also like the grub pie, all that stuff. You can add that to the mix. I'm just showing you guys a very basic way to get your Tegus a nice variety diet. And I think we accomplished that with this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below maybe some different ideas for foods that you could add to the meat mix, or if you have any questions about foods, go ahead, ask me down below. I'll answer. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. This channel's growing really quickly. We have some super exciting things planned for the future, so go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell notification so you don't miss it. I appreciate every single one of you, and we're signing out. Bye.